Okay guys, very happy to be back, very happy to be talking to you guys once again in another video. In this video, we're going to be discussing one of the main things that's going to get you guys more calls coming back to your assistants and obviously closing deals for you or however you want to use the voice AI in general. We're going to be talking about leaving voicemails, right? So that is going to be the main thing, the main topic. I'm going to show you guys step by step on how you can do it. Now, do keep in mind, if you guys drop a subscribe down below and a like, I will personally go in and give you guys the voice sheet list that I have created with over 200 voices that I rate personally from 1 through 20, and you guys can choose from there. If you're Synthflow users, this will be very beneficial for you guys, obviously, because you won't have to search for thousands and thousands of voices inside of 11 Labs like I did. But do keep in mind that you're going to get the value off of it. Just make sure that you join the community. Once you join the community, I'll go ahead and send it over to you there. You just have to message the word voices to me, and I'll make sure to give that over to you. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and show you guys exactly how you can get these voicemails sent out. Guys, so as you can see, I'm inside of my Synthflow account, and within here, you guys are going to be able to pretty much set up your assistants, do all that fun stuff, and I show you guys exactly how to do that within other videos that you guys can check out. Now, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little smaller. In this case, I'm going to be showing you guys what you specifically need to do within Synthflow as well as GoHighLevel. So just so you guys know the process, first off, you need to set up your assistant, which you can do so using these tabs. And then once you set up your assistant, you're going to go to the deployment tab, and you're going to see this little webhook right here. Now, this is what sends information over to GoHighLevel via webhook, right? This is what gathers all the information from the call, whether it's the status of the call, what happened throughout the call, info extractors that you had connected to the assistant, and then it sends it over to GoHighLevel so that way you're able to send out a voicemail. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my GoHighLevel automation. I'm going to go step by step on how you can do this. So the trigger of the webhook, the trigger of the workflow is going to be specifically called inbound webhook. Now, once you have that webhook set in place, what you're going to do is you're going to collect this URL that you see right here. You're going to copy this URL, and then you're going to paste it right here and click on initialize. Once you initialize it, you're then going to go to mapping reference, and within here, you're going to see that I just got one out, right? So 18:49:59, that's just the time that I just sent it out right now. So as you can see, that one popped up. Let's go ahead and save that trigger. And from here, you're going to go with the normal route, right, to be able to actually find a normal contact, right, that comes in. Whether it's you're doing lead reactivation campaigns or whatever it is you're doing, you're going to have to find the contact first, right? So you find the contact using the contact's phone number, which you can grab by going and clicking this little tag right here, clicking inbound webhook trigger, lead, and then phone number you can see right there. So that's going to pop up the phone number. We're going to search the user by their phone number. Once you do that, if the user is not found, you're going to create the contact, right, if they're not found. But more than likely they will be because you're making the calls out. Then you're going to update, right, the contact with whatever information you get from the info extractors and so on and so forth. That's basically pretty basic. I've explained it in past videos. However, just do keep in mind that the main three that you have to plug in here is going to be call ID, call recording, and call transcript, which you can grab all from going into the inbound webhook trigger, call, and you can see here call ID, transcript, and recording URL. All right, perfect. Now with that being said, here I'm going to detect whether they answered the call, whether they reached voicemail, or if the call just failed, right? And you can do this by checking the status of the assistant for the calls. So in here, this is where you're going to be seeing the statuses of the calls. You're just going to click on calls, and the calls that you've had with this assistant will show up in this tab right there. Some of the calls, if they did answer and it was a call that was completed, obviously it's going to be marked in as completed. If the call was failed, meaning the call did not go through at all, then it's going to be marked as failed by Synthflow. Now, if the call reached voicemail, this basically means three things. They either hung up on voicemail, which means they hang up the call, no answer, which is another way of hanging up on the call, and then busy, which is another way of them just not answering because you sent out a call and they were just too busy to answer, or they had it on do not disturb, right, on their phone number. Now, this all marks it as reached voicemail. So it goes down this path, right? And in here, you can forget about this opportunity. I just basically added to a pipeline stage inside of my pipelines, but that's not what we're going to be looking at. you are going to be looking at this specifically. Now, before I go into this, you need to understand that you need to create this custom field, voicemail counter. Now, inside of voicemail counter, do keep in mind that this is going to just count how many times you have voicemailed this person, right? So it's going to do this. It's going to go down the reach voicemail route. It's going to identify the voicemail counter. And as you can see, if it's the first time that this person goes through this counter, they're going to have 0, meaning they're going to pass through this none branch every single time. Okay? Once it does that, you are going to add a 1 to the voicemail counter, which you can do by having a math operation. It looks exactly like this. You guys can just copy and paste this basically into your own action. It adds a 1, meaning we send over a voicemail to them. Now, how do you create the voicemail? We'll get to that in just a second, right? But we're gonna add that 1, right, which is added to the custom field of that specific contact, meaning it's just telling the automation, hey, we voicemailed this person 1 time already. By the next time, right, because you're going to be, let's say, pretending to run a lead reactivation campaign in this case, by the next time that it does that, you guys are going to be landing inside of this voicemail equals 1, right, which is basically understanding that since we added a +1 here to the voicemail counter, it's going to bring us down this branch now. Now, once you're inside this branch, right, it's going to add another 1. Right, to the voicemail counter. So this is going to make it 2. So it's going to equal 2. Then you send a different voicemail, right? Why do we do this? Why do we send 2 different voicemails? Well, obviously, whenever you want this to be as humanized as possible, meaning you want it to have different ways of expressing itself. If you want, right, you can pre-record these voicemails and just have it send out differently or the same one. However, I make sure that you guys are capable of sending out 2 different voicemails so that way it looks very, very realistic for the other person on the other line, right? So that's why I send out 2 different voicemails. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do you record the voicemail, right? Very simple. You could either have one of your team members record the voicemail and then upload it as an MP3. Or if you want to have the assistant voice do the voicemail, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to your agent. You're going to go to the greeting message. You're going to edit this, right? And you're going to type out anything that you want to say inside of that voicemail within here. Once you do that, you have the assistant call yourself. And then once it says the greeting, you hang up the call, you go to the calls section, and then you download that MP3 file. And you upload it in here. Basic and simple as you can do it, and that's what's going to save you guys a lot of time. All right. So I do want to thank you guys once again for watching these types of videos. I generally appreciate each and every single one of you. I know I host a lot of videos and I have a lot of webinars right now going on for Synthflow that I'm very happy about. But do keep in mind that I'm here to still give you guys all the support that you need. I have created many, many snapshots inside of my community right here that you guys are going to be able to join for free. There's nothing. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You go in there. You learn for free. I have free courses that you can watch. I have paid courses if you really want to go into those. You don't need to. You can already learn everything about the free courses. However, just keep in mind that all the value that you need, including the snapshots, are free, right? So just join, go in there, get the free sheet. Why not, right? Why not get my time, right, inside of the free sheet for all those free voices, right? So with that being said, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.